Listen to me, too many of you are talking about what you're going to do. Every time I scroll, every time I listen, I hear people saying, I'm going to start this. I'm about to do that. Or just wait until next year. But you're still saying the same thing you said last year and the year before that. You're talking too much and working too little. You got dreams, I know you do. You got goals, I know you do. But dreams don't work unless you do. And real work doesn't need to be announced. You gotta stop telling people your next move and start moving in silence. Real success doesn't make noise, it makes progress. You don't have to broadcast your grind. You don't have to prove to the world that you're doing something. When it's real, when you're really about that life, when your heart is truly in it, the results will talk for you. You don't have to scream about your goals. Your actions will whisper them to the world. See, too many of you want to look successful more than you want to be successful. You want the praise before the performance. You want the applause before the effort, but it doesn't work that way. Great ones, the real ones, they put their heads down and work when nobody's watching. Think about a lion. When a lion hunts, it doesn't roar first. It moves quiet. It moves quietly, patiently watching, studying, waiting for the right moment to strike. That's how you got to move in life. Stop making noise. Stop giving away your energy, explaining yourself to people who don't even believe in you. You don't need validation from people who have never walked in your shoes. You need focus, discipline, and execution. Because when it's your time, when your moment comes, you won't have to tell anybody what you've been doing. They'll see it. They'll feel it. They'll know it because your work will speak louder than anything you could ever say. Some of you are so focused on showing people you're grinding that you forget to actually grind. You want the image of the hustle without the isolation that comes with it. But the truth is, real growth happens in silence. Real development happens when it's just you, the grind, and the pain. Nobody sees the hours you put in, the sacrifices you make, the nights you go without sleep. Nobody sees the battles you fight in your mind, and that's okay, because it's not for them to see. It's for you to live. When the results come, the same people who ignored your struggle will be the ones asking for your secret. But there won't be a secret. It was silence. It was patience. It was discipline. You've got to stop chasing attention and start chasing purpose. Attention fades, purpose lasts. You don't need the world to clap for you. You need to keep clapping for yourself when nobody else will. Stop trying to prove people wrong and start proving yourself right. Every single day you wake up, remind yourself that you're not working for likes, followers, or applause. You're working for your destiny. Let the talkers talk. Let the doubters doubt. You stay silent. You stay focused. And you let your work scream when it's time. Nature doesn't run. The seed doesn't make noise when it's planted. It doesn't brag about the soil it's in. It doesn't shout when the rain falls or when the sun shines. It just grows quietly day after day. And one day that seed breaks through the ground and the world sees the result. That's you. That's your journey. You might feel buried right now, but you're not buried. You're planted. You might feel like nobody notices you, but that's okay. Keep watering your dream. Keep nurturing your gift, and one day you'll rise. Not because you told everyone about your plan, but because you worked it out in silence. The people who talk the loudest are usually the ones doing the least. But the ones who stay quiet, who stay patient, who stay consistent, they're the ones who build something that lasts. Don't confuse movement with progress. Don't think just because you're posting every day, you're growing. Growth happens when nobody's around to see it. Growth happens when you're alone, tired, and still pushing. That's the real grind. That's the real silence. Stop defending your dreams to people who gave up on theirs. Stop explaining your process to people who never started one. Let your results be your response. Let your success be your statement. Every day you stay silent and consistent. Nature is aligning itself to reward you. The world has a rhythm. And when you move in silence, you move with that rhythm. You don't fight against it. You let the timing take care of itself. You just keep showing up. You just keep doing the work. Listen, there's no shortcut. You can't rush greatness. You can't fake consistency. You can't talk your way into success. You can only work your way there. Every day you wake up, ask yourself, am I moving in silence or am I seeking attention? Because only one of those paths leads to real growth. You don't have to tell the world what you're building. You don't have to explain every move you make, every late night, every early morning. You don't owe anybody an update on your progress. Because when the work is real, when it's genuine, when it's in your blood, the results will tell the story for you. Too many people waste their energy trying to convince others they're doing something great instead of just doing it. You got to learn to fall in love with the process, not the praise. You've got to understand that success is not about being seen. It's about being consistent. The ones who talk the most usually have the least to show. And the ones who stay quiet are the ones who move mountains. You don't need the world to see your hustle. You need the world to feel your impact when the time comes. And that comes only from discipline, not attention. Some people want to be noticed, and others want to be remembered. You can't have both. If you chase attention, you'll get temporary applause. If you chase mastery, you'll leave a legacy. The choice is yours. When you post, when you brag, when you talk before the work is done, you drain the energy that could have been used to create something meaningful. You've got to understand that the power of your grind lies in your silence. The most powerful storms are the ones you don't see coming. Discipline is doing the work even when nobody's watching, even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems like nothing is changing. That's what separates talkers from doers. Talkers need an audience. The doers create results. So, the talkers feed off attention. The doers feed off progress. If you really want to be great, you've got to learn how to sacrifice your need to be noticed for your need to improve. The spotlight is comfortable, but growth happens in the dark. It's in those moments when nobody is cheering for you, when nobody believes in you, when it feels like nobody cares. That's where greatness is born. You gotta remember that discipline is not glamorous. It's not about showing off your grind. It's about surviving the quiet days when the results haven't come yet. It's about waking up early when the bed feels too good. It's about turning off distractions when everyone else is relaxing. It's about saying no to comfort and yes to growth. Because comfort kills potential. Every second you spend trying to prove your worth to the world is a second stolen from your future. You don't need to prove yourself through words. Your work will speak loud enough. You've got to build a mindset that values consistency more than applause. Don't chase the feeling of being motivated. Chase the routine of being disciplined. Because motivation fades, but habits stay. When you're disciplined, you don't care about the noise. You don't need someone to tell you you're doing great. You know what you're working toward. You don't need validation from the outside world because your validation comes from progress. Every day you show up, every day you put in the work, you're moving one step closer. And that's enough. People who live for attention end up burning out because attention is temporary. But those who live for discipline, those who build for purpose, they last. They stand the test of time because they're not running on them. They're running on vision. You got to understand that the universe rewards effort, not noise. Nature doesn't rush, but everything still gets done. Look at how the river shapes stone. Not by force, not by shouting, but by consistency over time. That's what discipline looks like. It's quiet, it's patient, and it's powerful. There's a reason why you don't hear trees growing, why you don't hear the sun rising, why you don't hear the stars forming. Because power doesn't need to make noise. The strongest forces in nature move silently, and that's how you gotta move. Be like the ocean, calm on the surface, but full of strength underneath. The world doesn't need to know what's coming. They'll find out when it hits. That's the energy you gotta move with. That's what true power looks like. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop looking for validation from people who aren't even chasing their own dreams. The grind isn't about who's watching. It's about who's willing to stay in the game long enough to win. The loudest person in the room is often the weakest one there. Is often the weakest one there. The real power is in control. Control of your emotions, your focus, your energy. You can't control what people say about you, but you can control how much time you waste worrying about it. Channel that energy back into your craft. Let your improvement speak. Let your evolution be your message. Every moment you spend proving yourself is a moment you're not improving yourself. Let that sink in. Success is not a performance. It's a process. You got to understand that the grind doesn't care about who knows your name. Trust the process. That's something most people say, but very few actually live by. Everyone wants the success. the results, the recognition, but nobody wants the patience that comes with it. Everyone wants the tree, but no one wants the tree, but no one wants to wait for the seed to grow. The truth is, greatness takes time. The process may be slow, it may be quiet, it may even feel invisible, but that doesn't mean it's not working. Just because you don't see progress doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Every day that you show up, every day that you push through when it doesn't make sense, you're planting something powerful. You've got to understand how nature works. Nothing in nature rushes, yet everything gets done. The river doesn't race to the ocean, it flows. The mountain doesn't appear overnight, it rises over time. The seasons don't skip their order. They arrive when it's their turn. The seed doesn't scream for sunlight, just keeps growing underground until it's ready. That's how success works. You can't rush your season. You can't demand results when you haven't finished the process. You've got to respect the timing, trust the grind, and believe that what's meant for you will come if you keep showing up. The problem is, we live in a world of instant gratification. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants overnight success. But the truth is, anything that comes fast doesn't last. The best things take time to build. The strongest trees are the ones that took years to grow their roots deep. The same goes for you. You can't expect to grow tall if your foundation is shallow. The time you spend in the dark, the time you spend unseen, is not wasted time. It's growth time. You're building roots. You're developing strength. You're forming the character that will sustain your success when it finally comes. There's beauty in the waiting, but only if you have the right mindset. Most people get frustrated when they don't see instant results. They give up right before their breakthrough. They quit because they can't see the finish line. But that's exactly when you gotta keep pushing. The process is designed to test you, to shape you, to see if you really want what you say you want. If success came easy, everyone would have it. But the reason only a few make it is because only a few can endure the silence, the rejection, the waiting, the work with no applause. When you trust the process, you stop rushing the outcome. You start to understand that every delay, every setback, every challenge has a purpose. You start to realize that nothing is wasted. Not the pain, not the mistakes, not the long nights or lonely mornings. It's all part of your training. Life is shaping you when it feels like nothing is happening. The seed doesn't grow just because it wants to. It grows because the soil, the rain, and the time all come together perfectly. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. The process knows more than you do. You got to stop comparing your journey to somebody else's. Stop looking at how fast they're growing and start focusing on watering your own soil. Everyone has a different season. Some people bloom early, some later. But all that matters is that you keep growing. If you quit because you're not where you want to be yet, you'll never find out how far you could have gone. Trust that your time is coming. Keep showing up even when it feels like no one noticed. Keep working even when it feels like nobody cares. The results will come, but not when you want them, when you're ready for them. Patience is not weakness. Strength under control is believing that the work you're doing today will pay off tomorrow. You've got to understand that consistency is what turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. You can't water a seed once and expect a tree. You got to water it every day, even when the ground looks the same. You got to keep believing even when there's no sign of progress. That's what separates dreamers from achievers, persistence in the silence. There will be days when you feel like giving up, days when you question if it's worth it, days when you feel like nothing's working. Those are the moments that define you. That's when you've got to dig deep, remind yourself why you started, and keep pushing. Because every struggle you face is preparing you for the reward. Every failure is teaching you something you'll need later. The process isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. Remember, nature always rewards those who trust it. You don't rush a sunrise, you wait for it. You don't force a flower to bloom. You let it. You can't control when success shows up, but you can control your effort, your focus, and your faith. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep grinding. Keep believing, because just like nature, your time will come when you've done the work and when the season is right. Patience doesn't mean doing nothing. You've got to stop chasing attention and start chasing purpose. Too many people waste their lives trying to be seen instead of trying to be effective. They want the world to notice them before they've even done the work that deserves recognition. But the truth is, purpose doesn't come with noise. It comes with direction. When you know who you are and what you're meant to do, you stop begging for validation. You don't need people to clap for you because you're too busy clapping for yourself. The problem with chasing attention is that it fades as fast as it comes. One moment people are watching you, the next moment they've moved on. But when you chase purpose, when you dedicate your energy to something meaningful, that impact lasts long after the applause dies out. You can't live your life trying to please everyone. You can't let other people's opinions become the soundtrack of your existence. You weren't put here to fit in. You were put here to stand out through your work, your discipline, and your consistency. Every minute you spend trying to impress people is a minute stolen from your destiny. You've got to understand that validation is temporary, but vision is eternal. The people you're trying to prove yourself to won't even matter 5 years from now, but the person you become in the process, that lasts forever. You have to make a decision. Are you doing this for attention? Or are you doing this because it's your calling? Because when it's your calling, you don't quit when the crowd stops cheering. You don't give up when no one notices. You don't slow down when nobody's watching. You stay locked in because you know that purpose is personal. It's not about the lights, or the followers. It's about the impact you leave behind. Attention feeds the ego, but purpose feeds the soul. One disappears when people stop talking, but the other grows even in silence. The truth is, when you're focused on attention, you're playing a short game. You're chasing the next big moment, the next viral post, the next person to recognize you. But purpose is the long game. Purpose doesn't care about moments, it cares about legacy. It's about building something that speaks when you're gone. The most powerful people in the world didn't chase attention, they chased mastery. They spent years perfecting their craft in silence before the world ever heard their name. Because they understood something most people never do. If you focus on being excellent, the world will eventually have no choice but to notice. Stop trying to prove people wrong and start proving yourself right. You don't need to get revenge through success. You need to find peace through purpose. Every time you make a move just to show someone else what you can do, you lose control of your own direction. Your life shouldn't be a response to somebody's doubt. It should be a reflection of your belief. You owe it to yourself to build quietly, to grow humbly, and to let the work speak when the time is right. Because when it's real, it will always shine. Think about the greats. Think about the athletes, the artists, the thinkers, the leaders who changed the world. They weren't obsessed with being seen. They were obsessed with being great. They didn't care if people doubted them because they knew who they were. They spent years behind closed doors training, failing, and improving. They didn't need approval. They needed progress. They didn't need followers. They needed focus. And when that moment came, the world saw the results of years of silent sacrifice. That's what purpose looks like. Doing the work without expecting the applause. Every time you chase attention, you give your power away. You let strangers on the internet determine your worth. But every time you chase purpose, you take your power back. You decide who you are. You decide what matters. You don't need a stage to shine. You just need a reason to keep going. Purpose gives you strength when motivation runs out. Purpose gives you direction when life feels uncertain. Purpose keeps you grounded when attention tempts you to drift away. It's the difference between being popular and being powerful. You've got to get comfortable being overlooked. You've got to be okay with being underestimated. Because sometimes being unseen is your greatest advantage. When nobody's watching, you can experiment, you can fail, you can learn, and you can grow without pressure. Let them sleep on you. Just make sure you're working while they do. Because when you finally rise, it won't be a surprise. It'll be a statement. Focus on mastery, not applause. Mastery means doing something over and over again until it becomes part of who you are. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, and it's definitely not fast, but it's real. And the people who master their craft, who focus on getting better every single day, they end up living the life others only talk about. Let your success make the noise. Stop trying to convince people that you're going to make it. Show them. Too many people waste their breath talking about what they're going to do instead of just doing it. Stop explaining your dream. Stop defending your grind. Stop announcing your plans. Stop announcing your plans. The world doesn't owe you belief. It owes you nothing. You have to earn respect through results. When you really want something, you don't talk about it, you work for it. When it's real, it doesn't need to be broadcast. It just needs to be built. People remember results, not promises. You don't have to tell them who you are. You show them through what you've accomplished. You've got to understand something. Results speak a language louder than words ever will. The world doesn't care about your potential. It cares about your performance. You can't post your way to success. You have to grind your way there. The ones who talk the loudest are usually the ones who haven't done anything yet. The quiet ones, the ones who keep their heads down, who focus, who don't need attention, those are the ones who shock everybody when the time comes. Silence is powerful because it hides your progress until it's undeniable. You make noise, people start watching. And when they start watching, they start judging. Judging? But when you move in silence, you move freely. You're not performing for anyone. You're working for yourself. You're not distracted by opinions. You're guided by purpose. Not seeking applause. You're chasing growth. That's how you win. By staying focused on the mission, not the attention. Every time you feel like explaining yourself, remember that your success will do the talking for you. Every time you want to defend your vision, remind yourself that the results will speak louder than any defense ever could. People won't always understand what you're doing right now. They might laugh. They might doubt. They might even talk behind your back. And that's okay. Let them. Because when your success comes, the same people who doubted you will start telling everyone they always believed in you. That's the irony of silence. When you finally rise, no one saw it coming, but everyone claims they did. So stop arguing. Stop proving. Stop reacting. Just work. Stay patient. Stay humble. Stay consistent. Because eventually, your progress will be so loud that no one can ignore it. Think about how nature works. The sun doesn't announce when it's about to rise. It just shows up and lights the entire sky. Flowers don't shout when they bloom. They just become beautiful and make the world stop to admire them. The ocean doesn't scream for attention. Its power speaks for itself. That's how you gotta move. Quietly but powerfully. You don't need to announce what you're building. Just build it. Just build it. You don't need to talk about what you're doing. Just do it. And when the time comes, when the results show, everyone would know exactly who you are without you saying a word. Let your grind, make your voice. Let your achievements be your response. They say you can. Work so hard that your results say you can. When they doubt, you put in so many hours that your growth silences every doubt. You can't change people's opinions through words. You change them through success. Words fade, but results last. People forget what you said, but they'll never forget what you accomplished. Every successful person you admire once worked in silence. They didn't need attention. They needed focus. They didn't crave approval. They craved mastery. They didn't seek followers. They saw greatness. Truth is, talking feels good. It gives you a temporary sense of achievement. You tell people your plans, and their reactions make you feel like you've already done something, but you haven't. You've just released the energy that was supposed to fuel your grind. Every time you talk about what you're going to do, you lose some of the fire that was meant to make you do it. Keep that fire inside. Let it burn quietly until it's time to unleash it. Because when you finally show the world what you built, that's when the noise will matter. When it's backed by results. Silence is your advantage. When nobody knows what you're doing, they can't interfere, they can't distract, they can't predict your next move. Your success hits harder when it's unexpected. That's why you gotta learn to love the quiet. Learn to appreciate being underestimated. Let them think you're not working. Let them think you're done. Because while they're talking, you're building. While they're doubting, you're improving. While they're watching others, you're setting yourself apart. One day when your success shows up, they'll wonder how you did it. And the truth will be that you did it in silence. You gotta stop wasting energy trying to convince people to believe in you. You gotta stop waiting for applause before you start.